They were talking about, the teaching was going on about the fields and how the reactors works and the rest of it. Those of you who understand this will understand exactly what you got to do. There was an explanation about, I explained how in the egg, the shell is created. You have the yolk, let me do it that we all understand it. We have the yolk of the egg, then we have the white of the egg, if I can put it here like this. And then how is the, what we call, the shell of the egg is created? How does an egg creates its shell all the time? It is very interesting to know how it does it. How on an automatic base every day shell is created. Where does it come from? Once the yolk and the white is made. The creation of the calcium shell is understanding of the knowledge, what you already know. This is the womb, what we call, of being a snake, a chicken, or whatever. Go back in the teaching, understanding of the teaching. It takes 3 layers to manifest what we call tangibility. The yolk creates its own gravitational magnetic field. The white creates its own gravitational magnetic field. Now you need the third to create the eggshell. How does it come? The womb creates the second from inside. Is the way its gravitational field force does, and it's got the property of the structure of the second layer, and the body over the evolution time of the planet have created that both entity decide to give tangibility, and the field strength created between the womb and the yolk and the white leads to the creation of the shell. And that shell, the strength decided, is equal to the calcium which is coming from the chicken. Chicken does not need to have calcium to build it. Chicken can do without a calcium, or animal can do to create that skin shell, not necessarily the hard shell. So for the first time we understand how shells are created. So if you understand this, and you understand what I spoke about, the third part, you have a stacker, you create the ring, you create the 2 parts, the yolk and the white. Let the gravitational field, the magnetic field of the environment gives you the tangibility in that environment. Then this way you exist any dimensions in the universe. You don't need to change to aluminium or another one. You always stay. The environment, if you know how to create it, because it's got its own layer of gravitational magnetic field, and in the universe you create a continuous shell. Does not matter either in depth of the star, inside the inner sanctums of a planet, or in deep space in a free plasma attachment. Now, if you understand it, you see how reptiles do it, how chickens been doing it, and for man, we never understood it. Because if we put a man in a shell, as it does with the reptiles, you ask a woman to give a birth. It's such a huge mess. In the mammal, the structure of the inner layer of the womb has changed, does not allow solidification. But in a specific order, through the membrane or what we call RNA and DNA, allows the creation of the structure of the first bone, because it creates that gravitational magnetic field. Then the child has the first bone. There's no difference between the shell plasma, which created the egg of the shell, or the bone of the chicken in the middle. But it's a specific field combination very rapidly working that gives you the structure of the bone. So you understand this, you understand what John is doing at Arizona, then you understand where your third shell comes, that on atmospheric Earth you still have the shell, but you still create a plasmatic shielding. It's two different things. You touch the egg which comes out of the chicken, it's still warm. But you still have the solid skin. Child is born with a heartbeat, still warm, but with the skin of the man. You put that skin in a different atmospheric condition, you get different color of the man, but the reality hasn't changed. The man inside is the same structure. Racism has no meaning for those who understand the reality of science. It's the ignorance of the man. Understand the depth of the knowledge of the plasma. Understand the interaction of the fields. The knowledge is deep enough that it can interact internally. We see now the team in Arizona, the team in Philippines. We have other teams which are working now, scientific team we put together in Ghana and in Austria and other places. They are all bringing the knowledge in a very compact way in their own zone of speciality. Try to understand why and how the field interact, and then give you the appearance of what you see, not what has been accepted. And then if you understood how the eggshell is created, you understand how you can create the shape of the craft. What is missing? Replication of gravitational magnetic field of the Earth within the structure of your craft or the point of destination. At the point of arrival and the transportation time, you always have the physical tangibility of containment or field, which you call it, if you call it the Coulomb's barrier, at this point the Coulomb's barrier at certain point solidifies, gives you physical structure. Blessed those who understand. Then you can take man to space in no time. Carry on, Arvid.